Hello and welcome to album 6.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm here with Ben and Dylan. Have we
Hello.
been
Oh yeah,
introducing
we
each other
didn't
in the
do
last
that in the
Nah,
one?
last two.
You
it's
guys
like
are terrible!
it's only Charlotte who introduces us.
Oh, because I'm generous, like my scores would indicate. Um, yeah, album 6 is Abbey Road by the Beatles. I picked it because I was going to pick something else, and Dylan judged me and made me feel
No,
insecure
I
about my
didn't. I said, why don't you do
choices.
that one? And you were like, that's a good idea, and then you did it.
What were you going to choose? I've never heard
I
that
was going to
before.
choose Night People, You Me at Six.
Oh yeah, why
And
didn't you
Dylan
just
was
choose
like,
that?
why? And I was like, you're right.
No, that's
I'll
not.
be.
No, we didn't. I didn't even
I'll
know
be a
you were going to
normie.
choose that. That's not. That didn't happen at all.
It did! It totally happened.
No, you're such. No, what happened is I said, why don't we do Beatles? And you were like, yeah, and then we did it.
Yeah, but after I already had something else that I was thinking of doing in mind.
I didn't
And I
say,
said.
don't do that. Okay,
although,
right. Let's move on. Let's move
although
on.
actually, I have heard you say not night people before.
Look, I'm joking about that. I know nothing about the album Night People. I
Yeah,
joke
no, I
about the
said
song.
yeah, no, I know
Okay.
you don't like the song, so it sounds like something you would say.
Oh no, it's like the song by them that I like the most, but I know it's a good song. It's just like
Yeah,
a stupid
yeah, yeah.
we are night people. Stupidest thing. It just makes me laugh, so I like the song ironically.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
Oh,
Okay, we're
yeah.
not talking about that though. We're talking about the
No,
Beatles. Let's go.
Beatles. Let's go. Released 1969.
Wait,
There we go.
Information.
51 years
Lead
old.
single was like something slash come together. I
Yeah,
don't know why it's slash. Is there two? Can
because
there be
it's
two lead?
double single.
What does the term lead single mean?
The first one,
The first one.
Oh.
the leading one for the album.
Okay,
The
right.
first one in the album?
Yeah,
Or
as in no,
first
the
one to be
leading
released?
one. Yeah, in the process of so the first one to be released.
What a mess of a recording this is. Okay, go on. Carry
Yeah.
on. Carry on.
I'll be surprised.
Start doing your
Um,
synopsis of the album.
Okay, so to me, and probably to everyone, this is very much an album of two parts. We have our standard little album as part A, and then we have that medley thing, the end.
Mhm.
And I was going to say that there doesn't really seem to be a link between the two. But, I mean, it's a really weak link, but it's something that I wanted to say. The start of, like, is it Sun King?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Is
Sun
that
King.
the song? Yeah. The start of that, or the way that it is very, like, it's Here Comes the Sun. You know, Here
Mhm.
Comes the Sun. And I was like, that's really sweet and thoughtful.
But Charlotte, you realise that this would have been released on a vinyl, so side one and side
So
two
it's-
were different. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get
And
that.
yeah, Here Comes the Sun
But
and
they're
Sun Kim were
very
on the same
different
side.
vibes.
Oh, they were.
Yeah, they were. Here Comes the Sun was the start of side 2, and then Sun King was later in side 2.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
then ignore me. But like just generally, I was thinking, I mean, this isn't to do with the album, it's just to do with Beatles in general. I've never listened to one of their songs and been like, you know what, you could have gone further with that. To be fair, I don't really listen to music and think you could have gone further with that, but like, I feel very satisfied with what they do with everything. Even like,
Yeah.
why are you looking at me like that?
Because
Yeah,
we literally,
why-
because in Revolver, which we reviewed a couple of weeks ago, we were literally saying they could have done more in so many of the songs.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember
yeah.
saying that.
I don't think Charlotte did.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Okay, maybe we did. But like they have so many different style choices,
Mhm.
and naturally, the best songwriter of the bunch is Ringo Starr
No.
with Octopus's Garden.
Look, before you said that, I looked at Octopus's Garden and I thought she's actually going to say something about that.
Of
And then you
course she
did.
was gonna say
Oh my
something
god,
about it.
I forgot
just-
completely
I-
about it.
It's a bop, man. It's such a nonsense song.
Yeah, carry
I
on.
love their
Album.
nonsense songs like Maxwell Silverhammer. I listened to it this time around.
Yeah.
I was like, this is such a tune. It's about a guy that's just going around murdering people with a hammer, but they're making it such a bop.
So do you want to hand over to someone who can give it like a proper
No,
synopsis?
I also want to shout out to. No, you know what? That
Why are you
medley is
shouting out
smooth
songs?
because they
Why are you
deserve a
shouting
shout
out
out.
songs?
I don't know. I don't really like Come Together as an
Just
intro
carry
song.
on. Just keep
Not gonna
going.
lie. I'm keeping going. Yeah, the medley. Why are you laughing at me?
Keep going. Just go. Just
I
go.
mean, the medley.
All
The
right.
medley runs so smooth that it's like, deliciousness. But it's ruined by the end song. Not the song The End, the song that's after that, that's
Yeah,
actually the end.
Majesty.
I'm like, why are you here? Why are you here? Go away. I don't need you. No, the end is a great end. That's my synopsis. Someone else.
Right. What a mess.
Who wants to follow that?
Dylan, I think you should probably follow and save.
So let's actually talk about the album.
Yeah, that would actually be quite good.
Can
So-
I have freedom to pop up at certain points where someone makes a good point that I can piggyback off of?
Yeah, fine, whatever.
Thanks.
So obviously this album is following the very drug-fueled, well, and openly so, I'll say, albums Revolver, even White Album. No, it didn't. I'm a liar. I don't remember. Wait,
Big
hold on.
fan.
Oh yeah, White. Okay, Sergeant. Obviously, so before this was Revolver, Sergeant Pepper's, and White Album. Now, White Album is probably a prelude to this album, despite it being longer than this one. it's the way this album is formed is very. There's no theme. It's very all over the place, which I feel is it's a very likable part of the Beatles, personally. So it's not defined by any one genre, really. They dip their toes in all sorts of different places. Again, very dependent on who's writing the songs. And it all comes together, and it has a very light-hearted and most of the time uplifting sound, which, who doesn't like? That isn't Ben. Is sort of how I would describe Abbey Road. It's very uplifting, and it's quite wholesome, I feel.
It's got something for everyone.
I'd say so,
Except for
actually,
them.
yeah.
Except for
In
me.
terms of flow, very interesting. With the Beatles, flow's never, I feel, been their,
No.
not forte, their focus, I'd say. They've never focused on flow. That being said, I feel the songs that follow each other. Well, no, I won't even say that. There are some jarring changes in here, like between Maxwell, Silverhammer, and Oh Darling. It is strange.
Oh, that's jarring. Yeah.
Here, yeah, just stuff like that, but again, if you love the Beatles, you won't care about that. So yeah, that's somewhat how Charlotte should have structured the beginning.
Yeah.
Ben, do you have anything to
Yeah,
add?
so I'll go in as that. So Dylan obviously just finished off with saying, yeah, for anyone who loves the Beatles. So I'll be that person who doesn't.
I don't get how you don't. I don't know.
It is strange.
I assumed everyone liked the Beatles.
They just don't do enough. I mean, no, sorry, they don't do enough for me, like, to get me excited. Like, this is not. And anything I say against them is never anything about what I think of. Like, they've done so much obviously for music, and I am not doubting any of that. I just personally, they don't get me excited at all. Like the kind of catchy songs, yeah, like are very, like, obviously everyone knows them and they're kind of quite fun, and then the rest of it just doesn't mean much to me, really. But the album, I think as an album, like obviously we've done another Beatles album. I thought this felt more together as an album.
It's a lot more grounded.
Yes,
I'd say. Yeah.
and that was the bit I enjoyed a lot about it, and obviously having the medley at the end was a really impressive part of the album, and that is a really standout bit. I mean, obviously all those short songs.
The key changes are weird, but yeah.
But how it just, but it is,
No, yeah,
it
I'm
is
fully
an impressive
behind you on
thing to
that.
kind of
Yeah.
to put into an album, and
Yes.
to do it so that it's it works. And then I mean for me like just I guess all the little maybe the quirkier bits, the funnier bits which people quite enjoy, just don't do as much for me. Just because at the end of the day, I say their music doesn't do enough for me to really jump in and just go with it. So as Dylan's already said, like the flow's not been one of their priorities, and whilst it's a bit more present in this, it is not one of their priorities, which and flow is quite important for me in an album. But what does keep me going through the album is the kind of sprinkle the kind of some good songs throughout it, and that's quite nice that those are just kind of there to keep you going. So
I agree, Octopus's Garden is perfectly placed.
Yeah, sure, you can have it.
Thank you.
The having the sort of the really good songs throughout it does help keep your attention, and then I remember when we were doing it on the show, it was quite fun. I was starting to get into it, but I think ultimately for me, it was they're never going to quite do enough for me. And I think the way I rate albums and what I look for in albums, because the Beatles always had a different focus, as Dylan's already said, for me it's never going to quite all come together. That wasn't meant to be. Oh dear.
You did a pun.
Just gonna go and hide in a corner now. Just made a Beatles pun. Oh dear. Oh dear.
With that, should we move on to ratings?
Yeah, let's move on to some ratings. Charlotte, you picked the albums, so you start us off.
Yeah, I mean, I know I said
and while you're giving ratings, let's have some standout tracks as well, because we're talking about all the different things that they're doing.
You
Let's
really
actually
want to hear me say.
Okay, we know what you're gonna say. We know what you're gonna say. This
No,
is
I'll
more for
say
me and
something
Ben.
else.
Yeah.
But let's
Yeah, I mean,
say
just
like
favourite
what they
tracks,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah. Go on,
Okay.
Charlotte.
Okay, well, I know I said in like a previous, like I think it was literally the last one we did, that flow is very important for me because it's one of the only things I can pick out. Maybe it was this. Anyway, I feel like I'm noticing with Beatles albums, you just have to discard it. Like, and I think it is a thing that you can pick up on the fact that they're intentionally not going for it, and so it makes it easy to discard. So that I'm not mad at that, and I think it's such an experience, and every song is such a contrast to the last one that you're kind of all over the place, and it's very exciting to me. Yeah, I think I gave it a 9 on the show, and I think I want to do. Basically, I reserve 10 for something that blows me away, and then 9 is kind of like it didn't quite blow me away, but it was still like an absolutely amazing album. So I give it 8 because it's not quite that, but it's like, it's fun. And yeah, the standouts to me are Maxwell's Silver Hammer, basically all of the fun ones I really enjoyed. But beyond the fun ones, Here Comes the Sun is absolutely beautiful, obviously. Yeah, I'll leave it at that because I had hand gestures that threw me off. Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome. It wasn't really you. It wasn't that you like saying your favourite songs. It was more of a explaining your scoring system. Thought you were going to go from 10 all.
Ramble.
I thought you were going to go from 10 all the way down to 1, saying what each number.
I don't know what a 1 is yet.
Oh, we do though. Anyway, I'm going to give it a 6. And for me, as even though Charlotte said I would feel with Beatles that you have to discredit flow, I struggle to. Flow is important. And for me, unfortunately, as basic as it is, the songs I enjoy from it are "Here Comes the Sun," "Come Together," just the really kind of well-known ones. But for me, that's kind of all that Beatles really ever do for me, is just the really well-known songs. Yeah, and so that's the score just is depleted by the lack of flow and the fact that I don't quite get it all. It just doesn't do enough for me. But then obviously on the flip side, the stuff which is amazing is the medley and the obviously just the quality of what they're putting together. But how it all comes together is kind of its downfall for me. What did I do again?
Comes together.
Oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, I mean that's just going to happen when you're talking about an album. Anyway.
To be fair, it wasn't exactly correct. So
yeah.
The last one was better.
Okay, all right.
6 for me.
Okay. All right, so I mentioned before, like, the different songwriters all coming together on this, and for me, personally, where George Harrison shows up, what happened there?
Should we have a counter of how many times?
Did I say come together?
Should we have a?
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I?
We need a counter
Okay,
on
fine.
the screen.
Right,
how
whatever.
many times we've made the pun?
For me, wherever George Harrison is, I'm there. You know, there's such brilliant guitar work going all the way through this album in songs like "Here Comes the Sun," in something, in "Oh Darling" as well. You know, piano work also spot on. There's some really quirky drum fills all over the place. These are very talented artists, and as someone who's, I obviously, I've been in a band. It's a meme, but
I don't think we've been doing that on here.
no, we haven't. So this is gonna be the first time
This
it's
is a
mentioned.
very
But like,
I'm sure it'll come up
thing.
again.
and especially for someone who's quite a big fan of a few blues artists, like "I Want You, She's So Heavy," despite its length, has some really, again, like, quirky bluesy lines, and it's great. I feel, as a someone that plays an as a different point of view. But yeah, also progression in songs are great. Like "Come Together," it comes together at the end really nicely. And so yeah, I think I gave it a 8. And
Do you want to explain your scoring system?
no,
Sorry.
I think 8's good. It's certainly really strong and is a great feat. It keeps itself fresh. It keeps me engaged really nicely. I might even up it to a 9, maybe. I do feel some switches are a little bit too jarring. So yeah, okay, no, 8's good. 8 is strong. Beatles, I think, deserve an 8. It's not flawless. There are definitely maybe 1 or 2 misses, but for what it is, wholesome fun, and that's all over the place. It's great. I enjoy it. Yeah, strong 8. There you go.
It's quirky. Well, thank you for listening to. Well, thank you for listening to Ben and Dylan whilst also having to put up with me. Put up with us again soon.
I feel this was just as disjointed as the album.